It is a perfect late summer day here at the clearing. Temperatures in the low 70s, low dew point, clear blue sky, just kind of a perfect day. And our first plant today is, it has several common names, rattlesnake root, white lettuce or wild lettuce, I've seen it that way, and lion's foot, which is apparently a reference to the leaf looking a little bit like a lion's footprint. And the leaves can be much, much bigger than this, up to like 8 inches across. And you can see that they vary in shape to this just triangular leaf to one that's deeply cut like an oak leaf almost. So variable foliage in terms of shape and size. It's in the Aster family. You wouldn't think it just looking at it, but it is. It's got these dangling kind of bell-shaped, kind of pinkish on the outside, and then they're white when they open up. But it's an Aster family plant. Likes the open shade like this, not full sun, not deep shade. And I think the reference to the rattlesnake root common name is that in pioneer days they would boil or somehow get the solution out of the roots to treat snake bites. So rattlesnake root, white lettuce, wild lettuce, lion's foot. This small-scale shrub right along the schoolhouse path is Snowberry. You can see why it's called Snowberry, these pure white berries. But if it didn't have those on, you would think this is a honeysuckle. It's in the honeysuckle family, and I'm guessing a lot of these get pulled out or removed because people think it's an invasive honeysuckle. This is in fact a native plant, a native shrub, small-scale shrub in the honeysuckle family, but it's a good one to have. Different creatures will eat the berries eventually in winter. It's very nondescript, and the only time you really notice it is if you in fall and winter with the berries on it, or if you're hunting for honeysuckle to get rid of on your property and you see this and think it's an invasive honeysuckle. But this is Snowberry. This is we're at the bottom of the schoolhouse meadow. This is our native campanula. It's called Harebell, and it's a native with real fine, kind of narrow lance-shaped foliage and these beautiful blue bell-shaped flowers. There's another campanula up here called creeping bellflower. These are also called bellflowers. Creeping bellflower, which is an invasive up here. We have some of that on the property too. But this is our nice native Harebell, or one of the bellflowers, and it likes it down in the sun toward the edge of the escarpment is where I see a lot of it, or more of it. So, Harebell. Here's the late summer fruit on Solomon's plume or false Solomon's seal. With that nice speckled, kind of reddish speckles. It'll get darker red as it ripens, still a bit, but it's beautiful after its spring cluster of spring kind of creamy white flowers in that plume or cluster. This is what it turns into, and as it gets ripe it kind of bends more and more toward the ground, and at the right height for chipmunks and squirrels to eat, and I imagine birds too, because they do disappear. Something eats them. But they're so pretty, they're speckled, reddish speckled berries. Solomon's plume. This is the most common dogwood in Door County, round leaf dogwood. Has a rounder, broader leaf than the other ones. We also have pagoda dogwood, gray dogwood, red osier dogwood, and a little dwarf one called bunchberry. But this is the really common one. And here it is just beginning to develop some fall color. All dogwood turn a nice maroon in fall. And the developing berries. On some that I've seen around, they're already turning a light blue. These aren't ripe yet. but when they are ripe, the birds take them very quickly. Birds, berry-eating birds, love dogwood fruits. But after the fruits are gone, eaten by birds, these red berry stems, it's called a pedicel, P-E-D-I-C-E-L, that's the berry stem, that remains on the plant and colorful for many weeks after, so a little extra color along with the fall color on the leaves. But this is round leaf dogwood, fruit and fall color. We're here behind the lodge, and this is a nice patch of large leaf aster. You can't see the leaves very well, these large leaves, because they're underneath all the grape foliage and everything else. But here it is in bloom. Throws up these up to 2 feet tall flower stalks with typical aster flowers. They're kind of an off-white, sometimes even tinted blue. And the leaves along the flowering stem are much smaller than the basal leaves. But this is the native aster that prefers partial shade, not full sun like other asters. So we see this along the edges of woods and even in high shade in the woods. But this is an especially nice blooming patch right here. Often you just see a huge ground cover of the foliage and then 1 or 2 stems sticking up just here and there. This is a lot of flowers. Large leaf or big leaf aster.